Over the next few minutes, we want to show you how to lift out your old floorboards ready for replacing with new ones. Creaking boards can be a bit annoying. In older houses especially, boards will have been lifted from time to make repairs. Often they get damaged or they just aren't fixed down properly. The hardest part of the process is probably going to be cleaning out your room of all the furniture. Lifting the actual boards itself is quite simple. This job's going to involve quite a lot of kneeling down, so it's best to wear knee pads. There may be pipes and cables under the board, so we need to check for these as we work. You can use a cable and pipe detector for this. Handling old timber can easily result in splinters, so we're also going to wear some work gloves. Finally, it's not unknown for someone to put their foot through a ceiling or to fall through a hole where a floorboard is missing. So once we've lifted a board, we need to make the hole safe as soon as possible by fixing a replacement board or covering the hole. We're going to show you how to lift traditional square cut floorboards. This run of floorboard is in a few pieces and is damaged, so we want to replace it with a continuous length of undamaged board. There are a number of different tools that are suitable, but we're going to be using a claw hammer and a pair of these 530mm long utility bars. Before you start lifting the board, check to see if any part of it is fixed with screws. If so, remove the screws first. Remember to check for pipes and cables using the pipe and cable detector, but make sure you scan on either side of the joist. Otherwise, the nails running into the joist will give you a false reading. Scanning on either side will also tell you the direction of the pipes and cables. Next, see if there are any short sections like this one. If there are, lift these out first. Sometimes the short sections are not fixed and can be levered out using the utility bar. If the short section is nailed down, use the hammer to gently drive the straightest end of the utility bar into the joint across the board. Don't go deeper than the thickness of the board. Then use the utility bar as a lever to lift the board out. Use the claw hammer to bang the nails back through the board and then pull them out. It's best to do this as you go to avoid the risk of stepping on any nails. If there's no short length or cut in the board, you will need to make a cut across the board using a jigsaw or a compass saw so you can remove it more easily. Providing there's no pipe or cable underneath, you can make the cut next to the joist. Slide a flat scraper along the gap between the two floorboards to locate the side of the joist. Drill a hole in the board using a power drill with a 12mm or similar sized flat wood drill bit. Then cut across the board using a jigsaw. If there is a pipe or cable under the board, you'll need to use the curved blade of a compass saw to carefully cut through the board above the joist.
If the board that is being lifted is quite long, say 3 metres or more, you may be able to lever it up from the sides using the utility bars, then cut across the boards using a standard type wood handsaw.
To lift a longer run of board, use the claw hammer to gently drive the curved end of the utility bar between the bottom of the board and the top of the joist. Then, avoiding pipes and cables, lever the utility bar against the top of the joist to lift the end of the board. If it's difficult to lift, use the second utility bar as well, so you get extra leverage. Once the end of the board is lifted, you can use the utility bars as levers along each side of the board, working away from the end that you first lifted. If you're worried about damaging your adjacent floorboards when levering against them, use a scrap piece of sheet timber such as plywood between the utility bar and the top of the adjacent boards, as this can help prevent damage to the surface. Use a short piece of batten to support the board as you lift it.
If your board is nailed firm and you can't lift it using the utility bars, you will need to use a heavier duty tool like this wrecking bar in place of the utility bars.
Once the board is lifted, check the top of each joist to see if any nails have snapped off or pulled through the board as you lifted it. If they have, remove these and sweep off the top of the joist using a hand brush. That's it, the job is done and now your new floor is ready to be fitted. For more ideas and know-how, visit DIY.com.